Hey guys, hip mobility tools you can use at home. Different people have different tolerances and time that they want to commit to this stuff. So I'm not going to hold your hand and walk you through it. What I'm going to do is give you some tools for your toolbox and then some recommendations, and you can make it your own. So you don't have to do every single one of these from each category. You could do one from each. You could spend your whole time just stretching. It's really up to you. You can't really go wrong. Doing something is always better than doing nothing. So play around with some of these. Our first category, cars. Controlled, articulate rotations, 2 to 3 sets, 5 to 15 reps. We'll walk through each of these. We have 3 things. We have a 90-90 switch, a standing hip car, and a quadruped hip car. The goal with the car is to just exercise control as much as possible through the full range of motion. So the slower and more deliberate you can make your movement, the better it will be. So here's our 90-90, right? 90 degrees in your right leg, 90 degrees in the left leg. 90-90 switch, doing your best to keep your chest nice and tall. You're going to lift both knees up, come around, again, controlled and deliberate to the other side. If you want from here, you could spend some time passively stretching out this hip. You could rotate this way to get the internal rotation of that other leg. Hang out, and then switch again. So that's 1 rep, nice and slow, up and over. Again, 1 rep is each direction. We'll demo the quadruped hip car next since we're already on the ground. Quadruped, hands and knees. You can do this one 2 ways. Pull your knee into your chest as far as you can. Keep that toe pointed, and then rotate up and around as slow and controlled as you can to the back.
Wilson.
And then pull that leg through again. So that's 1. There's the other one, slow and controlled. You feel some clicking, some popping, as long as it doesn't hurt, that's fine. And then you can just reverse it if you want to go the other way. So you can go up first and then rotate around to the front. Up to you. Finally, a standing hip car. Hang on to something. Leg up to the front. All you're going to do is internally rotate, externally rotate. Keep this leg on the ground straight, really pushing through the floor. And again, just nice and slow. From there, some pails and rails. The way a pail and rail works, you have 2 to 4 sets. There's 3 phases to this. For 10 seconds, you're gonna hold a passive stretch. For another 10 seconds, you're gonna actively contract in one direction, and then the last 10 seconds, you're gonna contract in the other direction. So we've got 3 things here. Hip 90-90 again. Take that position. So, if I'm working on my left leg, what I'll do is I'll sit up nice and straight, and for 10 seconds, I'm just gonna hold the stretch. You're just hanging out, chest up nice and tall. Then for 10 seconds, I'm gonna drive this knee into the ground as hard as I can. Nice and active, driving that knee into the ground. 10 seconds, it should be work. And then when you're done, for 10 seconds, you're gonna try and pick this leg up in the opposite direction. So you can't see because it's not great for me, but I'm trying to pick that leg up, chest nice and tall for 10 seconds. And then relax. Then you could repeat on the other side. Same thing. You're driving your knee down into the ground as hard as you can. And then you're trying to pick that leg up. Similar idea with the frog. So if you take frog, you're in this position, 10 seconds of a passive stretch, just hanging out, stretching. You could drive your butt towards the wall behind you if you want. And then for 10 seconds, I'm gonna drive my knees into the mat as hard as I can. You should feel it in your groin, It'll make you shake a little bit. 10 seconds, driving your knees into the mat as hard as you can. And for 10 seconds, you're gonna try and pick your knees up, just in the opposite direction. Last one, squat. Superman squat, if you know what that is. So take the bottom of your squat, hands underneath your toes. 10 seconds, passive stretch. Now, for 10 seconds, I'm gonna push through the floor, right, and try and stand up as best I can. I'm trying to stand, I'm pushing through the floor, it's nice and active, chest is up. And then for 10 seconds, I'm gonna pull my hips into the ground. So it's hard to see in the demo, but it should be hard work. You're pulling and you're pushing. Moving on, some tempo work. Trying to gain range of motion in a position, time under tension is your friend. So the more time you can spend in a position that you're trying to improve, the better off you're gonna be. So just 3 movements here. And again, just some guidelines: air squat, a split squat, and a Cossack squat. Some loose recommendations: 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 10 reps, 10 to 20 seconds per rep. That can be on the way down, that can be a pause, that can be the way up. It's really up to you. So the air squat, we'll use the first example. We'll say we're gonna take 15 seconds per rep here. So you take your air squat, right? Chest up, knees gonna track over the toes, sit down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna sit to depth, feet flat, chest up, knees over the toes, hold for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The tempo you can make your own, make it difficult. It has to be a good position though. Don't spend time in poor positions, because then you're only making it worse. The split squat, same idea. For your split squat, if you take a lunge, right? So knee under your hip, knee over your heel, and then just stand up a little bit. Here's our split squat stance. So we'll come up to the top, and similar idea. What if we want the way down to be more? So we could take 10 seconds on the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You hit the bottom. You can take 5 on the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up to you. Play around with it. Cossack squat. Same thing. This time, you could just do a long pause each rep if you want. So as long as my feet are flat, you can get right into your bottom position, hold for 10 seconds. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come up to the middle. Do that each direction. 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 10 reps, 10 to 20 seconds per rep. Last thing, some passive stretching. Couch stretch, straddle, frog, and an air squat hold. Simple stuff. These are all things that you've seen before. The frog, we demoed earlier. For the couch stretch, if you've never done it before, it's called a couch stretch because you can use your couch. So, leg up behind you, knee on the floor. Hang out, right here. Yeah. You can squeeze that butt cheek. You should really feel it in the front of your hip. Straddle for the groin, sit on the ground, spread your legs apart. Make sure you try and keep your back flat. Don't hunch your shoulders. You're just leaning into it. You could go over to one leg. Up to you. Frog we hit, and an air squat hold. I'm a big fan of this, sitting in front of the TV at night. Ideally, you're doing it with no shoes. I would increase the time frame from 2 to 3 minutes to see if you could accumulate 5 to 10 minutes down here, just sitting in the bottom of a nice air squat. You could watch TV while you do it. Just make sure your feet are flat and hang out. And that's it. Again, just some guidelines, some tools for your toolbox. I know this stuff can be hard to get in at home. So if you just pick one of each thing and do it once a week. It'll be better than doing nothing, especially since we're all sitting a bunch with the work at home deal right now. So there you go. Hope it helps, guys. Thanks.